I got it. Oh, actually, yeah, there we go. Much better. There we go. All right. Can we hear me? Can we see me? Are we good? We can hear me. We can see me. Let's see what the chat's up to. Fish Army. Yes, first today for sure. Damn, Philip is right behind you too. He was that close to being first, but you beat him today. What's going on, people? What's going on, baby? How we doing today? What are we up to? Let's jump straight into it. You guys know what topic I'm here for. You see it up there. Wade Wilson. Wade Wilson. On trial. Well, not on trial anymore, really. I believe they've sentenced him. No, they haven't sentenced him quite yet. But his videos are going viral right now. He strangled two women, two unsuspecting victims, back to back on the same day. Can you believe that? Within hours of each other, I believe. And then he called his dad and told his dad about it. And his father apparently has a bigger heart than him. Called the cops and told them, "Hey, my son did this. Take him away." And they did. But he's a tall dude. He's handsome. He's tatted. And he's very poised under pressure. And a lot of his videos are going viral. And as a result, a lot of women are drooling over him. And a lot of men, as usual, are complaining about it. How many times have we seen this happen? Right? How many times have we seen this exact same sequence happen? Dude gets famous even though he's like a, detestable criminal. Women are all over him because he has attractive behavioral cues. Dudes are calling those women lost or broken or damaged, etc. But really, it's just a waste of time because these men are complaining about something that is fundamentally biological. It's science, baby. I don't know what to tell you. It is science. Sammy says first. No, you're not. Fish Army's first. Philip is second. I think you're third. I was just watching the interview like, good, as you should. Congratulations. I hope you go over it more than once and absorb all the information within it. Got you, Philip, indeed. The amount of girl knowledge you have is insane. I know. Thank you. Girl, Bible, fighting. Yeah, I mean, when you're a multifaceted individual and you know how to dedicate a good amount of your focus and time and energy on one thing at a time, you get really good at a lot of stuff. Oh, thanks for the gift. Appreciate that. But you get really good at understanding a lot of things and seeing the correlation between all of them. Because here's the beautiful thing about skills. All skills, all crafts, essentially have the exact same trajectory for how you learn them, the timeline for how they are absorbed by you and learned by you, but more importantly, they all have the same kind of weird elements to them. So I say this all the time, there's a lot of similarities between pickup and fighting. There really is, like a lot. The ideas and the philosophy behind stuff like timing, control, positioning, distance management, all that kind of stuff all works in some way, shape, or form in pickup, in talking to girls, and man and woman interactions. They might not be happening in the same way. They might not be called the same words because different crafts have different terminology. They might also not share quite the same exact execution in terms of the way you're going to fire whatever, thing or technique or whatever. But they all have similar elements to them, especially when it comes to stuff like timing. Yeah, timing is always very similar amongst crafts. You feel me? So yeah, that's your cue to go out there and learn a bunch of stuff. Life is for learning. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying, right? So learn. I'm so dead from 3 hours wrestling in BJJ. Good. That's a good kind of sore. That's a good kind of tired. It's okay to feel tired when you've put yourself, on the line like that and poured your energy into something that makes you better. Don't forget now, pain is growth. Dustin Poirier, provider, protector, bro, protector type for sure, protector type. I think in the beginning of his career, he was more of a provider type, but these days, especially, he's definitely a protector type. He's a risk taker. He's definitely a risk taker. It's kind of dry with the girl right now. Would leaving for a month be a good idea? Okay, it's dry with her. Why and how, right? The dryness itself isn't what's important. It's the way you got dry. Why did you get dry? What's dry about it? It could also just be you misinterpreting her disinterest as dryness, or maybe her discomfort as dryness, or maybe it's more something to do with something that you did that, for whatever reason, she doesn't have the confidence to voice to you. So first understand where the dryness is coming from. Why do you think it's dry? Then we'll figure out what to do next, you know? Who did what? Strangle? Yeah, go Google who Wade Wilson is. Well, not the character, Deadpool, not the Marvel character. Wade Wilson is a real person, and he committed some heinous crimes, and his trial is going viral right now because a lot of women are calling him the criminal of the century. You know, they're not saying that directly, but that's exactly how they're behaving. They're treating this guy like Chris Brown. And my entire point to him is just understanding, like, look, man, he knows, whether on a conscious or subconscious level, how to fire attractive behavioral cues. He knows how to power project. Everything about him, if I had to guess, just from the outside looking in, it looks like it's been very well trained and practiced. I don't know what the hell they're teaching him in prison, but they're teaching him well, right? So he knows how to act like in public, and how to appear relaxed and calm and poised. Even to like the small things, to how he picks up a glass of water to drink it. It's very well done, if you know what I'm saying. He knows how to behave himself socially. And a lot of women are looking at that as power projection. For those of you that have seen my series, my video on YouTube called Power Projection, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But he knows how to demonstrate those, you know, subtle behavioral cues, and he knows how to demonstrate value in that way. So shout out to him. He's getting a lot of female attention right now. I bet there's at least $10,000 on his books as we speak. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Chase? How you doing? Thanks again for the gift, Cosme. Appreciate you. First non-mod. I think so too. Yeah, Sammy, you're definitely up there right now. Another mod promotion is coming up for sure. Let's see. What's up, Jake? He says, I see why Wade is like this. It's nice having more knowledge than the average man about this. For sure. For sure. Shout out to him. Maybe not for what he did, because that's heinous and despicable. But, hey, game is game. You feel me? I've noticed that AI don't talk bad to people like they attack me. I don't, what are we talking about? I don't want to be rude. Like, I can say very mean things, but I don't. You don't talk bad to people? Is that what you meant by you don't? Okay, fair enough. I don't understand why you're saying that though, or what the point of that is. Is there more to this question, or am I tripping? I don't know. It is wrong. Okay, you're calling it wrong because then I sound or look soft. Like if someone without a leg says something bad to me, I don't say legless human. That's funny. Yeah, next time just say legless human and see how that you know, gels with you. Because there's nothing wrong with defending yourself, especially verbally on a social level. There's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. In fact, that's how you should live. That's how you should behave. And the better you get at doing that, the more savvy you become, and the more precise you become about what about you're defending. Because at first you'll just learn to defend yourself in general, but then depending on the kind of attack you get, you learn to adjust to whatever that kind of attack is, and learn what to defend whenever you're getting attacked like that. But, you know, not to sound too complex, yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know, mean things to people or feeling guilty about it afterwards. Well, actually, there is something wrong with feeling guilty about it afterwards, because if you're genuinely getting malicious intent from someone, you should have no problem at all on every level with destroying that person completely. That's exactly how it should be. It's completely okay. Don't feel bad. I don't know how my gaming confidence rocketed after repenting to Jesus. I'm not even trying anymore. Bet. Shout out to Jesus. Uh, People think I'm laughing or playing around when I say this, but getting right with God is one of the best things you can do for your game, because your place and your position with God all adds to your identity. And what is the number one thing you need for game is a strong identity. It's a self-belief. That's what we talk about in the self-belief course, right? Completely free, by the way, for those of you that don't have it. Link in bio. Go register for that completely for free. But yeah, it all helps with your identity. When you have a strong identity in Christ, you tend to have more belief in yourself, and that helps with everything in your life, not just swimming. You feel me? Dancing, martial arts is a good example. Literally, quite the same foot positioning in two. So all the good habits you learn from dancing, they all translate perfectly well into game, except for the crossing your feet habit, right? You want to probably not translate that, but yeah, fighting and dancing, very similar arts in a lot of ways. It's all about positioning. It's all about foot placement. It's all about fluid motion. Be like water, my friend, right? What's the daddy issue difference if the father was present but she was not involved much? But he was not involved much, my bad. Like drinking a beer at TV and not paying much attention. You said there's two types, one who left her or one overly feminine one. So when I say the one who left her, I don't always mean like physically left, right? There's a lot of absent fathers that are physically present. Does that make sense? If she has a dad that was there in her life, maybe even still is there, but she doesn't see him as a strong masculine presence, he counts as an absent father, right? He didn't care how she did in school. He didn't care how she conducted herself in public or treated other people. He didn't care to, build up her character in any way or teach her certain life lessons that were beneficial to her for years to come. You know those type of girls, right? That just do everything. You ever met that girl? Okay, like back in high school, I remember this one chick I went to high school with. She was like a year ahead of us, and she was always getting in trouble. Always getting in trouble. Come to find out, like, her villain origin story, and I didn't even notice that was what it was when I was hearing it at first at the time, because I was like a teenager myself. But all these years later, looking back at it, I realized, it's because of what we heard about her eventually, which was that her father just didn't give a fuck about her, right? I went to this super, rich private school. I was one of like the poor kids in the private school. My parents then they went broke putting me through that school, but yeah, it was like this rich preppy kind of school, and her dad had like a bunch of kids, and she was like the last of all the kids he had or whatever, and he was like in his older years and more advanced years, and super rich. He was more worried about stuff like politics and whatever, and he just kind of paid for her school fees to get her out of the house type shit. He didn't want to be like 24 hours involved in her life, or 30 minutes a day involved in her life at all, really. So he just kind of threw her there, and she was the very definition of rebellious. She did everything wrong, and she went out of her way to do everything wrong. She took pride in breaking the rules, and the I'm gonna tell your parents on you threat clearly didn't work on her, so there was a freedom that came with that, and she did whatever the fuck, man. She was in boarding school, and she was the one student that would get caught sneaking out. Like she had, this was a big scandal in my school at the time. She made a fucking hole in the wall to like escape, to go out to club at night and then come back to the school before 4 a.m. before anyone else is awake. Like that was the level of bad she was, right? And yeah, she just, there was no one that could get through to her because she had no authority, she had no boundaries, she had no structure, and that was because even though, again, she had a father, he just wasn't present in her life. So yeah, perfect example of that. That's what I mean when I say absent father. It's not always physical absence. Most of the time, in fact, it's psychological. Let's see. By the way, got the number of a 35-year-old woman through Cold Approach. First older woman. Congratulations. You're going to have a lot more of those. Be careful not to allow her to, treat you like a like a child. I don't know why I said chid or kyled. What the fuck? But yeah, be careful with that. Went to the club. A girl was looking at me continuously. I approached and said, "You've been looking at me all night," and did not say hi. We started laughing. Me and her friends. Asked them for their IG. Don't know which one is interested in me. I started following one. The other also did. Didn't we talk about this last live? And didn't I tell you to just talk to both of them? But I think one gave me a fake name in person. I have IG, shows my face, physical, etc. Should I leave it like that or message? Dude, we talked about this last live, and I told you just message like you're talking to the girl that you want. And I don't know how long that live was. Like, it's been quite a few days, man. Like, you've probably already passed the Overton window on when you should hit her up on IG. Like, the excitement has died down considerably since then, and you've done nothing but not pull the trigger. So the chances of you even like talking to this girl, unless you made a very strong impression in person, almost zero at this point. Go talk to another girl. But again, try, see what happens. More than likely though, don't expect much from this, because I don't know why you would even wait this long. Why? What was stopping you? Let's see. So essentially, 1 month break is not a good idea. It depends. I want to know why things went dry for you to begin with. That's what I'm asking first. Like, let me know the situation. Then we'll figure out if a month break is a good idea for you. Alright, what are you saying, bro? What's going on, Kay? How you doing, man? Okay. A lot of the boys are here. That's good. Hey Jace, man, how you been? I'm pretty good, Finn. How you doing, baby? We're talking about all things game, relationships, social dynamics. We can talk about anything really, spirituality. You guys know how I am about fighting and stuff. I've been pondering all day about, at the back of my mind, been pondering all day about Ian Gary versus MVP. Because I don't know how that's gonna go. If MVP was still in his prime, he's taking that easily. It's not even going to be close. Ian Gary's striking is very good. It really is very good. But it's not as precise or as effective for a style like MVP's. It's just not. There's a lot of things he does, a lot of bad habits he has that someone like MVP and his style are just going to exploit very easily. With that said, though, MVP is 37. He's not the spry, young, explosive man he used to be. When was the last time MVP knocked somebody out? Right? Usually the speed is the first thing to go, then the power. But speed is power. And that was how MVP generated his power. So he's not as fast as he used to be. I do think he has a better chance of winning, though. But let's see. For Ian, it's now or nothing, though. I do think MVP has had better competition. Ian hasn't really fought anybody, especially since he got into the UFC, that I think has been a really good test for him. The best I can think of is Jeff Neal. I gotta go back and watch his Jeff Neal fight. But I remember watching that one live and thinking, he's getting cornered easily. For someone that claims his best tool is his reach and his distance management, he got caught very easily whenever Jeff decided to throw combos. So, we'll see. I'm curious, though. What's good, Nep? How you doing? You said don't feel bad at all after being attacked, but I'm like, this could be solved in another way. Well, fuck that other way. Solve it the way it needs to be solved. Don't give yourself an out or an excuse. Sometimes you tell yourself there's another way to solve a problem because you're really just scared to go the way you should go. Granted, again, you be nuanced. There are the situations where it's better to go a different route. But for the most part, I would say in most situations, fuck that. You're almost better just escalating the shit. Escalating the issue. You feel me? It's way better. And you get more respect for it, too. Your opponent fears you more when you do that, too. When they know you're willing to risk more than they are. Let's see. So how do you deal with her just be a strong masculine frame for her? I showed some treats of that. Treats or traits? And she opened herself and complimented me. Traits. Okay, I figured. What are we talking about exactly? Oh, the daddy issues thing. Okay. Um, if you're dealing with a girl that genuinely had an absent father, you essentially got to be the father she never had. Like strong masculine leadership skills type shit. That's what they're all craving, by the way. It's not even a matter of opinion. Like, it's so weird how that works. We are all, to some degree, deficient of something we didn't get in our childhood. And we are all trying to be the adult that would have given us those things. Like, psychology teaches you this, right? You study enough about psychology and how the mind works and how child development works. We're all trying to be the adult we wish we had supervising us when we were kids. So, in a way, well, okay, that's kind of a stretch. Some of us are trying to be the adults that we wish we had as kids. The other half of us are trying to lean more into the child we were so that we can inspire someone else to be the adult in our lives that we've always wanted. Does that make sense? And you see that especially with the women that are like, they have that daddy issue, absent father type of deal. They're constantly doing things that in their minds, on a conscious level, they think just makes them, independent woman, whatever trope you want to have or whatever trope they want to use. But really, when you peel back the layers of those actions, you realize, oh, they're really just crying for help, So whenever you run into those girls that clearly had an absent father, you are well within your rights to fully assume that they're doing things to find that absent father or to find a more present father in their life. So you just got to play that role well. Be a leader. Be the leader of a father that she never had, and you will fulfill her in ways that she's never thought, and she will be forever indebted to you. If you must go through the trouble of doing that, because trust me, a lot of these women are like that, but most of them don't deserve your time and attention. I promise. That's a very special gift that you can give to women that you really shouldn't be giving to just any woman. Keep that in mind. What would you do if your girl told you she kissed another girl? It depends on the girl, and to be fair, not all my girls are bisexual, so it is what it is. With that said, though, I do say women are far more attracted to each other than men are, So even if it's like your girl that's completely into men and she kissed another girl, don't freak out about it. You'll be fine. In most cases, I think the way you should be freaking out about it is if you got to be honest with yourself. If you're a masculine man and you're a leader and she tells you she kissed another girl, that's probably just some interesting physical attraction thing. Just whatever, let that happen. Maybe tell her to invite her friend over or whatever. But if you are a feminine man, all right, if you gotta be honest with yourself, you're a bitch as a man, you probably are getting replaced by that girl. Something to keep in mind. Ha ha ha. How do you date and deal with the problems that come with dating a girl like that? Your high school girl. Oh, I already answered that question. That's like, just give her the father she never had. That older woman is constantly trying to spit some wisdom. I just tease and dismiss it. Good. Very good. How to create a strong first impression. It all comes down to the level of attention you're willing to survive. That's something we'll talk further about in the attention series as we go, because it's a rather long series. I think we're at episode 6 right now. It's probably going to get to episode 10. Who knows? But, tension, and this is something I talk about later in the tension series, is what makes her remember you later. That's what leaves an impression. How much tension she felt around you. But here's the double-sided part to it. This is the other side to it. Is that the tension that you make her feel will also be felt by you. So you have to survive the tension you're willing to put on her. That's what you gotta remember. What are you willing to do to get people to remember you? Like, let's take it to like social media, for instance. Let's use social media. Everyone on social media is fighting and competing for time and attention of the people on social media, the eyeballs, right? Depending on what you're willing to do to get those eyeballs on you, you're either going to be suffering more or less tension and anxiety. Does that make sense? So the person that's only willing to do maybe a story time of a story that happened to them that day is not willing to survive the same level of tension as the person that's willing to do a story time of their most embarrassing situation. And that person isn't willing to handle as much tension as the person that's willing to paint blackface on the internet, even though they're not black themselves. Does that make sense? So, again, it comes down to the level of tension you're willing to survive yourself. The breakdown you did on manifestation was what was I was confused about. Thanks. Part 2 coming? Sure, I'll do a part 2. Why not? How you doing, by the way, Dimitri? Shout out to you. But yeah, for the most part, that is what leaving a first impression is all about, is how much tension are you willing to survive? Do looks matter? Of course looks matter. Everything fucking matters. Looks matter, money, status, relative status, game, they all matter. In my personal experience, game matters the most. Looks are one of the things that matter the least. Or don't matter for as long as you think they do. Does that make sense? Looks matter, but they only matter for about the first 2 to 3 minutes. They're about like 40 seconds to a minute and a half on average. After that, it's all game. Like, I don't care how fucking good you look. If you do not speak the same language as her, you cannot get her naked. Unless, you supplement Google Translate, right? You need to have solid game in the back end. So the game will help you in the front and in the back. Looks will only help you in the front. Niceness and compassion will only help you in the back. It doesn't help you in the front, right? But game, having good solid game all around, helps you everywhere. All the time. So yeah, looks matter, but not as much as you think. How does one act confident in anything when I don't have the skills to back it up? You have rugged self-belief and almost a delusional level of belief in yourself, right? Here's what no one ever tells you. In order to be good at anything, you have to do the thing, and you have to be willing to suck at it at first. But in order to be able to go through that pain and suffering in the beginning of sucking at something you're trying for the first time, you have to have a level of confidence about yourself to begin with. Because it takes confidence to take rejection. It takes confidence to stomach failure. Does that make sense? So you have to have an initial level of confidence before you even begin to build on the skills. That's what I talk about in self-belief. Go register for that course. It's completely free, link in bio. But you have to be delusional about how you are, about what you're willing to do and what you're capable of doing, especially in the beginning. You feel me? Doing awesome, man. Just finished my home gym upstairs. Bet. I'm pretty stoked about it. Oh shit, me too, honestly. Having a gym at home is one of the most convenient things you can ever fucking do. It's great. It's fucking great. What's your favorite ways to create tension in convo? Say anything at all that makes the conversation awkward or puts her in a unique position. So think about it like this. Because here's I love it when people ask me this question, because we all know the answer to this question. We just act like we don't. Whenever you're talking to a girl or texting a girl, you know what the things you shouldn't say are. You know what the things you shouldn't say that'll make the conversation awkward, that'll, put you in like a vulnerable position, or make you stick your neck out for her a little bit more than you want to. Do those things. Say those things. Those things will create tension. Put it like this. If they'll create tension in you, they'll create tension in her. So anything that you could say that would make you feel some type of way, best believe that'll make her feel some type of way herself. Right? Now, if you want to make it more precise and more playful and more flirty, cool. Then you can just say things to tease her. That'll do the job. That'll do the trick more than enough, right? Anything you do that can tease her, pull back on her, pull her leg, as they say, boom, tension is created. Just like that. It's very easy. Let's see. When is it a good thing for a girl to want to break in a relationship? I don't understand it. It's never a good thing. well, can I say never? There is one situation where it's a good thing, but even in that situation, you gotta like slightly correct to make sure that things don't go a certain way. So it's a good thing when she says she wants a break because she, for instance, caught you dealing with another girl and maybe she saw some messages in your phone that indicate that you have female interest from other people. And in which case, girls, by nature, they'll want to do something to, or say something to make you want to reassure them that they're special to you. Because, you know, that's just how women feel when they see competition. Competition anxiety is a real thing in women. So yeah, in that case, if she goes, I want a break because, you know, she saw a few texts in your phone or whatever, and she's trying to get you to do something to give her reassurance, that's a good thing. That's whatever. You could give her the reassurance if you want to, if she's special to you, whatever. But for the most part, when she says she wants a break, that's really just a precursor to her breaking up with you completely. In which case, that is not a good thing, because that means you've done something to make her lose attraction and respect for you over time. So yeah, keep that in mind. How to properly approach any woman and be successful. That's an interesting question because I want to know where that question comes from. Why do you want to approach just any woman and be successful? And why do you think it works that way? Right? That's an important question you want to ask yourself. Like, why do you want to do that? Any woman? Any woman? You didn't say beautiful women. You didn't say women you like. You weren't specific at all. You just said any woman, right? So that means in your mind, you're kind of thinking about it like, oh, I can just do this thing and just press this particular button over and over and over and over and over again and get the same result. And unfortunately, it's just not how a game works. Women are human beings, which means they have different value systems, different priorities. They have different ways and models of viewing the world and different perspectives. If you must really learn how to approach just any woman and be successful every time, then that would require you to do a lot of work. The kind of work that you're clearly not willing to do, if you're asking me a question like that. Like, you're essentially, without even realizing, asking me, how do I become the most well-rounded, most interesting man on planet Earth? That's what you're asking me, because that's how you do it. Right? If you want to approach any woman and be successful every single time, you gotta be the man that speaks fucking 8 languages. You know everything about everything in frighteningly precise and thorough detail, right? You gotta have the correct answer to every single situation every time, right? Because that is what it creates. That's what happens. Whenever you approach a woman, you're really putting yourself in a situation where you're having to solve a myriad of problems on the spot. So you're essentially asking me, how can I become the kind of person that can solve any problem? Are you willing to do that kind of work? Figure it out. Isn't it always the girls looking for others more openly? What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about? Oh, the whole taking a break thing. Yeah, sure. It's most of the time like that. It's most of the time them trying to replace you, for sure. So many women over here, man. Ooh, that's good. Feel like a kid in a candy store. That's what I'm talking about. Good. It should feel like that. And they've always been there, by the way. That's the beauty of game. Like, the abundance of women is all around us. It's everywhere. It's everywhere all the time. It's just that you don't notice it until you have game. When you have great game, when you have decent game even, all of a sudden, the world opens up to you and you realize, holy shit, there really is like a lot of beautiful women everywhere. Because now you have access to them. Because you have a skill that gives you that. You feel me? It's great. Let's see. Essentially, I F up the first date by teasing way too much or being late. Now she kind of avoidant, so 1 month break. Oh, I see. So, okay, see, this is why I like to ask you guys questions to be more specific. You created too much tension. You teased too much and you were late on the first date. And now she's backing away. Bro, how the fuck is 1 month break gonna solve that? If anything, it adds to the problem. right? She already thinks you don't like her. That's why she's backing away. She already thinks you're not taking her seriously enough. She already thinks you're not emotionally investing in her. So what makes you think the solution to that is, oh, I know, let me ignore her for a month? Like, bro, you're adding to the problem at that point. What you should do is the exact opposite. You should overcorrect in the opposite direction. You should do or say something that makes her know, oh, I actually like you. You know what I would do if I were you? In that case, I'd be like, listen, let's go to so-and-so spot. Let's go here and here and there and there. Like, I would take her on a nice, proper date. Spend time with her. Quality time with her. Like, I'm talking, make sure the date is at least 2 to 3 hours. Spend the first hour doing most of the talking. Talk about yourself, your childhood, different experiences in your life. Really get her to see you as a fucking human being. And then after that, get her to talk about herself a little bit. And you go back and forth. By this time, you're both laughing. You're both having a good time. And then after that, don't even fuck her. Send her on her way. Send her home. And you see her on another date. Because, again, you want to show her you're willing to spend time with her without having an agenda. That's what you need to do right now. That's how you need to overcorrect. That's what you need to do. You feel me? Okay. Oh, I see. Exactly. How would you survive if you're in the hood? In the hood. The hood is not as bad a place as people think it. And take it from someone that lived in the hood for years. In multiple countries, mind you. The hood is a very simple formula. If you mind your business, people will leave you alone. If you're a young man in a hood environment, you're going to get a lot of pulls and temptations. As long as you stay firm in your identity that you're not the kind of guy that is into that lifestyle, they'll leave you alone. Like, some of the coolest dudes I know are hood dudes. And they all live by the same exact kind of code. They like, gangs only target people who need a family, who need camaraderie. If you can show that you have some kind of camaraderie of your own, whether it's like, you know, whatever craft you're focusing on, you know, whatever passion you're involved in, whatever group you're already in, whatever thing you're into, they'll leave you alone, man. They don't care much about you. You're not useful to them. That's how you survive in the hood. You recklessly and ruggedly focus on yourself and your passion. Another type of daddy issues, there's just the two main ones, really. It's the overly present one and the under-present one, or absent one, right? You want to be somewhere in between. You want to be the father that she loves and cares for, but has a deep level of respect for at the same time. So you want to be in your children's lives, obviously. But also, you don't want your children to think that you're their friend. You're not. You're their father. You know. So keep that in mind. Just got here. How long have you been alive? Oh, you've been here for a while, man. How long have I been alive? I don't even know. Thoughts about calisthenics versus weightlifting. They're both good. It just depends on what you want to do. You know. What do you want to do? Do you want to lift heavier weights over time? Do weightlifting. Do you want to improve your body weight training and your flexibility and mobility as a result? Do calisthenics. What do you want to do? All these, there's no right or wrong exercise. It just depends on what you want to do. I was talking to someone about this recently too. He showed me a video of a bodybuilder talking about a fighter. There's a fighter. Which fighter was it? Was it Tyron Woodley? It was one of these UFC guys. Either current or former UFC guys. Thanks for the gift, by the way. And the guy was holding 2 dumbbells and just like pumping them up, you know, on the sides, just dumbbell raises. And kind of moving in a rhythm, right, with his coach. They were doing this at the same time. It was pretty cool. And the bodybuilder, like TikTok guy, he was like, oh, this is the wrong way to go about doing it. He's not going to build any muscle doing it. Don't lift your dumbbells like this. You should use this machine that inclines your arms and isolates the biceps while you're doing those dumbbell raises. And I'm looking at that video going like, yeah, that's great advice for bodybuilders. If your goal is to increase muscle size, you want to isolate the muscle. Very true. But if you're a fucking fighter and you throw punches for a living, bitch, you better learn how to move your arms in a rhythm, right? It's a part of how we fight, right? It's a part of how you train when you're a fighter. You guys have seen me on the treadmill multiple times. For those of you that aren't new to my lives, right? What am I always doing on the treadmill? I'm always practicing this. Go try do this on the treadmill and see how difficult it is. You might think, oh, you can just flow your arms like this. But no, you got to time it with the rhythm of your run. And you're taught to move in rhythm as a fighter. So you got to time it properly to where this shoulder, right, my right shoulder, is swinging forward to shoot that punch. Like imagine I'm doing this and I go back and then shoot a punch like that. It's awkward. It's messy. My precision is off. So everything we do as fighters is all about rhythm, motion, rhythm. So when you lift dumbbells, and sometimes I'll be on the treadmill with my little, I'll use the lightest dumbbells, like a 15-pound weights while I'm running. You move in a rhythm. You move in the rhythm. You lift in a rhythm. You lift in a rhythm. You punch in a rhythm. You extend in a rhythm. You hip thrust in a rhythm. You knee in a rhythm. Everything you do has a timing to it. So for that training, for that profession, lifting your dumbbells in a rhythm is the perfect fucking thing you should do. Why would you isolate to make your muscles bigger as a fighter? As a fighter, as a bodybuilder, perfect fucking thing you should be doing. Isolate those fucking muscles, make them bigger. Absolutely. But as a fighter, you don't need the muscles to be bigger. You need them to be more effective, to be more powerful, to be more speedy. You need them to twitch. If you're a fighter, you know what being twitchy means, right? You need them shits to twitch, to retract, to expand in lightning speed. That's what you need. So you need to train like that. You need to train for power and twitchy motion. So you really should be doing less weightlifting. Not to say you shouldn't be doing it at all. Obviously, incorporate all those things into your training, but less traditional weightlifting and bodybuilding stuff, and more stuff like HIIT or GOATA, right? Stuff that actually helps you with mobile athletic movement and power generating motion. You feel me? So yeah, what do you want to do? And then figure that out and figure out what you want to do from there. How you want to train to get the results you want, right? Are you the one that says to cheat? Am I the one? Is there anyone else that says to cheat? Is there anyone else that says to cheat? That's a good question. But yeah, I'm definitely the one that endorses cheating. For sure. I am the one that endorses cheating. Because once you look at it from a biological point of view, it's not as big a deal as people try to think, make it to be. The only people that complain about cheating are people that can't cheat. That's what no one seems to notice, right? I saw a video today, earlier in the morning. I was doing my workout and watching TikTok videos, and shout out to Mr. Locario. I saw Mr. Locario video, and he was talking about how he used to, and it's a very good video, by the way, go watch it. It's still on the top of his page. It's doing numbers too, which is, I'm happy it is. He was talking about how he used to fuck people's wives and girlfriends, obviously, but how he specifically wives, like the entire process of how he would do it. It's a rather long video because you gotta explain all the steps, but again, amazing video. And I scrolled down to the comments, and it's exactly what I thought it would be. It was a bunch of dudes going, "Oh, you're a piece of shit, you're breaking families and homes." You know the only guys that sound like that? Victims. Fucking victims. No one that can replace women sounds like that. Only men who live in bitch scarcity sound like that. And that's the only two kinds of guys there are on this playing field. It's predator or prey. And you have to decide in yourself, which one are you? Cheating is only a big deal to prey. Predator? We don't give a fuck. God, I wish every man on this planet understood what abundance looked like, man. It's like getting rich. It's like money, right? It's like you only think certain things are a big deal if you're not making a certain amount of money. You only think certain things are a big deal when you don't have a certain number of bitches in your life. Once you get past a certain level of abundance, holy shit, you begin to realize, like, yo, this is, yeah, Dimitri, victims, exactly. Like, Dimitri gets it. Like, it's, what? Cheating is biology, son. It's not a moral compass or code. It's not a fucking morality issue. It's biology. It's like getting hungry. You know what I mean? It's like, And a lot of men don't understand how unattractive they are fundamentally in their relationships, and how easy it is to replace them by, like, how easy it is for the women in their lives to replace them. So they think it's this massive thing. Oh, this girl cheated on me. It's like, bro, she did what she's meant to do, what she was designed to do as an animal. To replace you because she didn't think she was in the arms of a leader. That's supposed to happen. That was what was supposed to happen. And you trying to make it a moral thing, like, oh, you're a piece of shit. You're just a prey. You're a victim. You're a victim to men like me and Locario. It is what it is. It is what it is. So because I can cheat, I should got it. Again, you're thinking like a fucking... You sound like someone that hasn't had sex in a year, bro. You think because I can cheat, you should. I didn't say you should. I said, and this is what I said, when you get to a level of abundance, you stop seeing things as a big deal. Like, do you think... Who's the most famous rich person right now? I don't know. Let's use fucking, I don't know. Who's rich? Elon Musk? Do you think Elon Musk has to sit down and ponder? Like, sit down and ponder for like a good month before he makes a $300,000 purchase? Now, to you, it's a big deal. Hell, to me, it's a big deal. $300,000 purchase? Are you kidding me? That's a big fucking deal. Like, holy shit. Gotta sit down and ponder about that. But when you're worth billions of dollars, you spend $300,000 by accident. That's how it is when you get bitches. I make women cheat by accident. You think I know that these bitches, half these bitches that I fuck, have boyfriends and husbands? I don't know till later. I don't know till later. I'm an attractive man. I have a lot of skills. I fuck a bitch and then go, oh, wait a minute. Is that your family portrait on the fucking wall right there? Who is that, your husband? That's how I found out most of the time. It's just a girl. Exactly. It's just a fucking girl. African American girl, you know how they are. It's not even like it's not a trust me, it's not a culture thing or a color thing. It's every woman, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Hand to God, you want to know the kind of girl culturally that's the easiest to steal from her husband? Middle Eastern chicks. Middle Eastern chicks, especially the ones in burqas. Especially the... I'm not even gonna say much on that, but trust me, it's not even a culture thing. I'm just saying that to make a point. It's not a culture thing. It's a woman thing, and it's a woman that's in a bad situation with a man she doesn't find attractive anymore situation. That's the thing. As in, it's a girl asking the question. Oh, see, that makes a lot more sense. Thanks for telling me that. That was a girl asking that question, right? That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Because I hate it when men sound like that. Like, oh, you're a grown man talking about, oh, you're cheating. Shut up. So I came in and we're talking about the Middle East already. Shout out to Ryu. How you doing, Ryu? But yeah. We have to mention that for a second a little bit. But as for the girl that was asking me about cheat, listen, honey, sweetie, pumpkin. Yeah, that's how it works, baby. It is what it is. It is what it is. Men, when we have options, we use those options. If you can't handle that, then you need to go find yourself. Like, I was talking to a girl. Was it a live I was talking about it on, or... Actually, no, I think this conversation happened in person. It was a girl that was a friend of a girl that, you know, I'm dealing with. And we were talking about this. She's not the most pretty girl, this particular girl. But I had to tell her the truth because she was trying to tell me situations about, like, her life and someone she's dealing with. And I'm like, listen, honey, you can't get with a guy like me. It's not going to work. You need to find yourself someone that you think you're not attracted to. That's the person you'll have this life, this dream life you want with. Oh, I just want a guy that just doesn't cheat. Perfect. There's a lot of guys that don't cheat. And they're all the guys you don't want. And you want to know why you don't want them? Because no one else wants them. So that's the irony to it. It's like women say they want a guy that doesn't cheat. But if you look at what they're attracted to, it's the guys that have options. So, so a lot of these women, they just need to settle down with the guy that they think they don't like, and they'll have that cheatless life they've been looking for. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Let's see. Thoughts I already read that. If I wanted to get into combat sports. Okay, so if you want to get into combat sports, you'll end up stealing different routines and ideas from all those different things anyway. You'll do a little bit of powerlifting, a lot of powerlifting actually. You do a little bit of weightlifting. If you're a wrestler, you do Zerker squats. We all do fucking Zerker squats, right? That's where you put the bar between your arms and elbows like this, and you do deep squats like ass to grass squats, and that helps with your generating power from your legs and your lower back and your hips, so that you can finish takedowns, right? So you'll do a lot of weightlifting and a lot of calisthenics as well. You'll do a lot of bar work. You'll do a lot of pull-up, push-ups. I forget what they're called, but it's like where you stay flat, almost perpendicular to the ground, and you do pull-ups, but your back is to the ground, really. And then you do a lot of those calisthenics stuff to like strengthen your arms, particularly because you want to have solid grip, you want to have solid strength. So you'll end up stealing a lot of those different exercises from those other, disciplines. How to go from funny guy with guy to be her father, huh? From funny guy with guy to be her with guy. What? Huh? Also, you don't have to lose your humor because you're her father. You can still be funny. It's okay to be funny. Just don't make being funny your identity. You feel me? It's better to be the father with a sense of humor than the funny guy. So keep that in mind. All you gotta do is add a little more leadership skills in there. You feel me? If you want to sleep around, you can do that single. What do you need a girlfriend for? I have several, so I'm a very greedy man, Kimoy. That's what I'm saying. You need to go find someone that's not as greedy as me, Thankfully for you, that's most men, So you'll be fine, Kimoy. You'll be fine. You'll find someone you probably think like the regular type of girl who only sees life in black and white, right? Oh, there's monogamy and there's nothing else. I don't do that monogamy shit. I just have bitches because I can. There you go. She's new to all of this, so it's a crazy experience for her. Have mercy on her. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to have mercy on her, man. She's new. She'll get it. She'll eventually learn and all that stuff. She still thinks that most men are men who, like, just believe in one wife. Like, wait till I break her heart and tell her that monogamy was only invented, like, a couple hundred years ago. Before that point, it was crazy out in these streets. And, like, I was talking about this with someone recently. The monogamy experiment has effectively failed, right? So, we, as society, as human beings, we did the whole civilization thing. And a part of the deal was monogamy, which is like trying to find a way to make sure every man gets his own woman. It's not working, especially with the advent of technology now. Now women have all these different tools they can use to better find the man that they actually want, better trade up on men. So you have your Instagrams, your Facebooks, your TikToks, your Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, etc. The days of women having to stick with the man in their vicinity that they don't really like for the convenience of it are over. They're done. Those days are gone. They're dead. So now the competition is worldwide. And we've now slowly gone back to what we were before monogamy became popularized, which is effectively polygamy. A few men at the top get all the bitches. All the other men at the bottom die alone. Slowly getting there. I'm saying slowly getting there to soften the blow. We're already there. Like, look around you. That's what's going on right now. Literally. So, girls like Kimoy just aren't aware of what's going on. And she hasn't realized yet that she is in dire competition for the kind of man she wants. Like, it frustrates me on some level. Like, really, it really does. I'll run into a girl like that whenever, I meet a new girl. Like, a girl that really does assume that a guy like me is only interested in her and only has her. And like, you'll hear girls in the way they talk sometimes, especially ones you meet for the first time. And it's like, you're stupid, aren't you? You don't realize how much competition you're up against. And those ones you just gotta let go to, like, you know, teach them the lesson. Hopefully for the next guy they behave themselves. But like, yo, women don't seem to understand. Like, it's hard out here for y'all. It's hard. Do you think you can beat the Mountain? He's 6'9", 430 pound guy, spark Conor McGregor. I know the Mountain. Can I beat him? Yes. It would take me to tire him out, of course. All that muscle on him, all that weight on him, I bet it drags him down at some point, you know. So you just gotta avoid him for a long time. Like, I would say the first 2 minutes is more than enough time that he gasses out, and I can begin to close distance. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say yes because I got a large ego, but in reality, it comes down to how I execute and then what his plan is in return. If I had to guess, his plan is to just catch me and lie down on top of me. That's a great plan for him. I'm useless at that point. I don't care how much technique I have. 430 is 430. That's a lot of fucking weight. And yeah, it's very hard to get out of that situation. With that said, though, if I can execute on my strategy better, then I win. I win. I know how you feel about not focusing on women, but I need to for 2 months to handle some things. I plan to get the interview light at the time and going all in. And any advice to prep myself for those 2 months to get the best results? Start approaching women. Approach at least 3 women a day, every single day. And then when you get the interview light, increase that to 7 approaches a day. Yep. She probably wants a 3-way. The breakdown you did, yeah, I read that one. Thanks again, by the way. I will give you a part 2. Hey, how do you deal with an envious, jealous relative? I still live with my parents, so he can come over anytime he wants. And he's envious and jealous? What is he jealous of? Like the fact that you still live with your folks? Tell him to go fuck himself. You know? Or tell him to stop talking to you like that. Whatever he's doing, you know? It's so funny how people want to do XYZ and then get the interview light. Terrible idea. You know what? Here's why I don't address that directly. Because you never know what their situation is. It might be, you know, a financial issue for them. Who knows? Hopefully the price remains the same by the time they get it. It won't. But also, you don't know where their mind is at. There's one thing I've learned in this business particularly. You gotta wait for people to be ready for their own transformation, right? When I first started, and a lot of you would know this, for those of you that have been here for the longest time, I would literally do everything in my power to go out of my way to get people like, yo, listen, do this, do that. It'll help you a lot. Da, da, da. And then after a good about year of doing that and realizing, oh, the people that would do it anyway are the people that know that they need to do it, I just kind of cooled down, right? A lot of people get surprised when I say in my business I don't really have like any follow-up scripts or anything like that. Like, oh, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Am I though? Am I leaving money on the table by not badgering someone that hasn't gotten to their break point yet? No. I'd rather do what I've been doing that's been working very well. Wait for them to get to their breaking point. They'll come back to you. They always do. They will. It's fine. So who knows what happens with Sammy later? God forbid anything like this happens to him. But let's say something happens. Maybe he starts approaching the girls. He gets a girl or a few girls in his life, and he realizes, oh shit, I'm kind of stuck. I'm getting all these newer girls in my life, but I don't really know how to convert them. All of a sudden, the need to buy the interview light goes up by 80%, doesn't it? Exactly. So you just got to give him time. I don't blame, but I'm saying it will never work better by waiting till later. You get me? Yeah, I get you. I definitely get you. I definitely get you. You're very right about that, by the way. It doesn't get better for them the longer they wait. But for some of them, for the sake of how they want to absorb the information, it's better they go through that process. You feel me? Let them. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Most will come here and get game and then get commitment and leave until there's a heartbreak or until their heart is broken. I cannot tell you, like, again, not to sound like I'm bragging, but I've probably made a good chunk of money, like at least a good 10 grand off of those kind of people that will go and then come back. Like, oh, I'm gonna leave. I got some game. I got a girlfriend thanks to Jace. And then something happens. That girl destroys them, right? Breaks their heart, fucks them over, cheats on them with their best friend, something. And then all of a sudden they remember who got them there in the first place. Happens all the time. I'm not mad at it, right? In fact, I like it when that happens, because if anything, that proves to them more that, one, Jace knows what he's talking about, right? But two, it gives them a more, like, a newfound sense of appreciation for the information. Because I give it freely, and it's a double-edged sword to do that. The good thing is that they have access to the information, so they can use it whenever they want. But the bad thing to that is they begin to cheapen it in their mind. They don't realize how important it is. So whenever they go through their pain, their hell, they got an appreciation for it. And that's a good thing. It's a cycle of life. Pain is oftentimes needed for change. Good. Yeah, true. It is. Pain is growth, baby. It is what it is. What's the balance between tension and comfort when trying to game her? Don't worry about it. Go practice. That's the real answer to your question. Because if you were practicing and actually getting good with girls, you wouldn't really be asking me questions like that. Or at least not in that way. So go practice. Go put too much tension in the conversation, and then go put too much comfort in the conversation, and then do your own best to overcorrect. You'll create that balance naturally. But you're the one giving guns to toddlers. Fair enough. I am. What's the balance between... Oh, yeah, you earned that one. Hey, what's going on, Brandon? How you doing, man? I'm thinking about the thing you said. The most selfish thing you can do is help others. How so? It's exactly what I meant. The most selfish thing you can do is help others because of the law of reciprocity. Say it with me now. The law of reciprocity. That is the law that states that people on a psychological level have a deep need to help those who help them. It's very rare to find someone that's okay with receiving help without feeling the need to give something back in return to the helper. Right? So as long as the law of reciprocity works, I can exist. At least in the capacity that I do exist, which is I can help freely and not care about what may or may not come back to me, because I know it'll come back. So whenever you help others unselfishly, it's the most selfish thing you can do, because guess what? It always comes back to you. One way or the other. It's weird in the different ways it comes back, but it always fucking comes back. That's why every business, good ones anyway, they give you something free at first. Now, there's people like me that fucking overdo it, obviously, but free this, free trial, free that. Something to let you, one, be aware of their business, get a feel for their business, and have an experience with them, but also make you feel indebted to them almost, in a way, right? Very few people are okay with just taking and not receiving anything, and not giving anything in return. And honestly, you don't want to do business with those people anyway, so it's fine. That's really what it comes down to. The most selfish thing you can do, the most self-centered thing you can do, is help others freely. You feel me? Do you have any tips for game? Hell yeah, I do. Watch my entire channel. Let's see. Call the lead magnet to trigger the law of reciprocity, then upsell you to a paid offer. Exactly. Literally. That is literally what it is. Let's see. You've mentioned... I already answered that one. Isn't tension a bit risky, though? It's not a bit risky. It's a lot risky. And that's the point. Like, people don't understand. And we'll talk more about this as we go on with the tension series. The whole point of tension is to demonstrate your ability to take risk. So, there's three major uses of tension. The first is creating the precursor for attraction. Because tension creates attraction in the long run. For attraction to exist, tension needs to happen first. That is where attraction comes from. Attraction is born from the womb of tension. That's the first thing. The second thing about tension is that it creates impression. It leaves a lasting impression and memory of you and her. Because the way women remember things is by how much emotion they felt about something. That's how they remember stuff. So when you create tension, you leave a lasting impression. But then the third thing is like it's a subtle way to demonstrate the ability to take risks. Because the kind of person that's okay with sitting in tension with her is the kind of person that's a successful risk taker. So yes, tension is designed to be risky. That's the fucking point. That's why you should do it. Okay? But I've heard cases of women having an abusive, overly masculine father as well. Wouldn't that be another type of daddy issues? Yes, it would be. But that wouldn't be to the same capacity of the absent father or the feminine father. Like the father that's her friend, right? Hold on, give me a second. TikTok is asking me to verify that I'm here. Yes, I'm here, TikTok. Thank you. The overly aggressive masculine father, say what you want about him, and yes, he probably needs to chill out a little bit and create a little more comfort with his daughter. But if there's one thing you have around those fathers is that she has a very healthy relationship with masculinity, because she's seen it. She knows what masculine energy and presence and aggressiveness looks like. And yes, she might have a fear of it, an unhealthy fear around it, but at least there is some referential fear there, which is what you need, what she needs too, honestly. So yeah, I take that over the absent father. Let's see. Example, do you think you look good? She's gonna say some shit, and then going to say, or I'm gonna say, I'm trying to see if you have personality, and then say like, sit down for a second and start talking. That's not a bad sequence. You might want to execute it better, but that's not a bad sequence. You'd be like, yeah. I wouldn't say, do you think you look good? That's the kind of question I would leave till later. Like, rate yourself 1 to 10. Where do you think you're at? I would leave that kind of question till later in the interaction. When I want to make her feel like she's really getting grilled by me. Right? Tension seems like a double-edged sword. I just said that, yeah. By the way, giving a backhanded compliment is also a form of risk-taking. Love doing that. Exactly. It is a form of risk-taking. Backhanded compliments, push-pulls, teases, disqualifiers too, right? When you look at a girl and you say, you know what? You're a beautiful girl, but I don't think we'd work out. We'd be terrible for each other. That creates tension. That creates tension. Because you're in a few words saying, you're not good enough for me. Which will always create tension in women. Okay, I gotta go soon, guys. I gotta go. That was a gem, what you just dropped. Let's take a break versus do you still love me? Exactly. True. I remember when we were talking about that. When we were talking about the break taking stuff. What do you think of you are way too gorgeous to be wearing that? Oh, hell yeah. That's a great one. I've probably said that many times before too. Or some variation of that. Right? You have too much style to have decided to wear that dress. That's probably what I would say. Or you strike me as a fashionista, so why would you make that decision? And I'd point at whatever article of clothing I think is unbecoming of her, right? Is this going on YouTube? I've been checking out your YouTube videos lately. Oh, by the way, I owe y'all so many lives. And yes, this is going on YouTube. Hey, YouTube, subscribe. Thank you. Love you. But yeah, I owe y'all like 5 lives. So they'll all drop for sure. How to correct oversharing. How do you know you've overshared? But if you must correct it, project some power, create some distance, you'll be fine. I'm getting my ass kicked right now, bro. Per usual, but not a new girl. But a new girl. She's an ocean of emotion. I feel like you attract those kind of girls, right? Grateful. How you been, man? Where have you been? What you been up to these days? We should get on the phone soon. But yeah, new girl, ocean of emotion. Just be the rock, man. Just what we keep talking about. Be the fucking rock. Be the strong, unshakable mountain, so to speak. You feel me? Let's see. Man out here saving lives. I try. Off topic, but you're gonna watch the debate tonight? Absolutely. Absolutely. Has it already started? I don't even know what time it starts. Damn, you got a lot of comments to get through. I kind of want you to get to mine before the live. I guess that does have to be the next live. I gotta go. I really should have gone like 20 minutes ago, but I gotta go. But I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. You guys know all the correct things to do, links in bio, all that crazy stuff. But I really do gotta go. I appreciate you though. Use all the information that I've given you. Please, please, please actually practice it. If you think I'm a superhero now, you will think a lot higher of me when you actually use it and you actually see the results. I promise. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Do with all this information what you must.